welcome to another episode of Straight F Into It podcast with your host Devin. Y'all already know what we doing in here. You here to sit down and I'm here to talk. You feel me? So listen, let's just jump straight F into it. The conversation we gonna talk about today, we gonna talk about these badass YNs running around here shooting up everything like we living in the Wild West, and we gonna talk about these fucked up ass parents. Yeah, I said it, fucked up parents. And what's a fucked up parent? No, everybody's not a fucked up parent. Everybody don't fall into that category. But listen, I'm gonna give you a couple examples of what I mean by you being fucked up. And listen, check this out. With this conversation, I already know we finna rattle some cages. I already know we finna pluck some feathers. But it is what it is. This conversation got to be had. We got to talk about it. Listen though. On some real shit, parents, man, we got to do better. We got to do better. I'm noticing something. I'm noticing that Big Mama gone. And for y'all that don't know who Big Mama is, that's the old school ways. That's the old school grandma. That's the old school auntie. That's the traditional ways. The ones that didn't play the bullshit that I'm finna talk about. But listen, what I'm noticing now, we got a lot of these parents out here. Y'all like to party with y'all kids. Y'all like to treat y'all kids like they y'all best friends. Y'all like to smoke with your kids, drink with your kids, indulge into gangster activity with your kids. It's just like the old folks say, it's like we're raising a bunch of thugs, gangsters, pimps, hoes, and hooligans. We burying these babies at a high rate, and I'm going to tell you why we burying these babies at a high rate. The parents are not teaching these kids how to deal with conflict. You're not teaching them how to deal with conflict. You're not teaching them to walk away from certain situations. You're not teaching them to be the better person. You're not teaching them to just leave it alone, just let it go. You're not teaching them that. You know what we teaching them? You've been teaching them since they was babies, since they was infants. Fight, 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 fight. Go over there and get them. Go over there and hit them. Go over there and do this. Go over there and say this. Go in. See, it's taught. I ain't the smartest man in the world, but I'm gonna tell you one thing I do know. Violence is taught. Behavior is taught. All this shit is taught. And when you take an infant child, one thing you got to know about dealing with an infant kid, the first 3 years of their life, they call that the golden period. You want to know why they call it that? Because that kid is going to learn the first 3 years of their life more and at a higher rate than any other period in their whole entire life. So to you, when you telling that baby to go over there and hit somebody, or you telling that baby to say certain things they shouldn't be saying, or you telling that baby to fight, see, to you, it's all innocence. It's fun and games, and it's just the way y'all, we just playing, we just having a little fun. But to that baby, it's programming. You're programming that baby. You're programming violence into that baby. Then fast forward 10, 15 years down the road. That same behavior that child is displaying right now is the same behavior you taught. You taught that 13, 14 years ago. That's the same behavior. So when that child get into these streets and that child don't know how to walk away from certain situations, no matter how big or small it is, it may end up taking their life, or it may end up just getting them kicked out of school. Guess what? That child's actions come from off of what you taught them 13, 14 years ago. And I'm going to tell you something. It's hard to undo what you program. It's hard to undo something that you taught them at their programming stage. And now the fact that they done got 14, 15 years old, they done start smoking and drinking, you done completely lost control at this point. You done completely lost control of your child at this point, because it's at that point where they going to do what they want to do. So guess what you do? You join in. Yeah, your kid smoking. Once you find out that your kid smoke, you start smoking with them. Once you find out they drinking, you start drinking with them. Once you find out that they got a lot of drama going on, you know what I'm saying, got a lot of beef and a lot of heat in the street, you out there fighting with them. You out there jumping on teenage kids with them. You feel me? You indulging into everything they got going on. At what point are you going to be a motherfucking parent? Allow them to sit around your house and not go to school. Allow them not to chase no education. At what point are you going to be the parent? The babies come home from school. You ain't got no meal ready. You ain't prepared to do no homework. You laying down. You don't even want to be bothered. Sliding a cell phone in their face. Because guess why? Social media is the new parents. Everything them babies learning, they learning from social media. Social media and the cell phone is the mama and daddy of the family now. And you do that shit because you got time for everything and everybody but your babies. Until you YNs that's out there living your best life. Sliding on the ops. Ripping the block. Tell you 3 things you need to know. Because you don't get it right now. You don't get it right now. You don't understand. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what your future looking like. 3 things you need to understand. When you get hit for everything you done did, and it's time for you to lay down and do that time. Ain't nobody gonna send you nothing. Ain't nobody gonna write you nothing. And people gonna grow up and move on. They not even gonna remember what your ass locked up for. Period. I hope you heard what I said. They not gonna do nothing for you. They not gonna write you. And they gonna forget about what you locked up for. People are gonna move on with their life, leaving you to bite the burden for whatever you done. That's how they gonna go. Yeah, you gangster right now. Yeah, you hard as fuck right now. Energy still pumping. The hood still in you. You ain't gonna change. Yeah. 10, 15, 20 years in. Yeah. It gonna get real lonely for you. Real lonely. And you gonna realize don't nobody fuck with you. We failing these young folk, man. We failing these young people. We got to get these babies somebody to look up to. We need to start being a motherfucking example for these babies. Somebody asked me the other day what I think should be done about the violence that's going on. And I said nothing. And you want to know why I said nothing? It's going to take us as a community. You motherfuckers going to have to stop picking up cell phones when this bullshit kicking off. And you got to start doing like Big Mama them used to do in the community. Run outside and snatch your ass up because that's such and such son. Or that's such and such little brother. Or that's such and such nephew. The old folk back in the day used to come snatch your ass up in the streets. Y'all out there doing all that cussing and carrying on and y'all it's a group y'all. Grandma and them used to come out there and snatch your ass up. And that's what we got to do as a community. We gonna have to start looking out for each other even if we not family. You feel me? Even if we not kin to them. If I see you out there got some shit going on and I know you, and I know that's such and such son, or I know that's such and such nephew, I'm gonna have to go out there and snatch your ass up, bring your ass up because I already know you already know your people don't allow you to do the shit you doing. Talk the way you talking, act the way you acting. I'm finna call such and such, come over and get on your ass. That's what we got to do as a community. We got to start coming back out there, beating these kids motherfucking ass. Your neighbor's gonna have to tear your damn child up every now and then. Look, I feel like at this point we just killing off each other, man, and the world watching. You know what I'm saying? The world watching like it's a movie. Ain't nobody gonna intervene. Ain't nobody gonna stop it. You feel me? The community got to come back together. It's even hard to do that nowadays because you got these parents. Ain't nobody finna touch my baby. Don't say nothing to my baby. When you ain't out there being a mama or you ain't out there being a daddy, it need to be somebody in the streets. They gonna be out there to put their foot in your kid ass because your kid finna have somebody to kill his ass. Your kid out there in some shit that finna get his life took from him. But here you is, don't want nobody to say nothing to your kids. Here you is, don't want nobody to interfere with your kid got going on. But the moment somebody kill him, then you turn to that same parent and ask, why didn't nobody stop it? Why didn't nobody do nothing? Why ends think about your actions? Parents, get this shit together while you got a chance.